How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I wanted to talk to you today because MP Materials just had some big news that came out. They actually had two pieces of news, some news that I think people don't necessarily understand. And I want to talk about it because honestly, it's a little bit of a gift to be able to buy MP Materials in the low 40s again. We've seen the stock move up a lot after their earnings. They smashed earnings last week. And a lot of people were feeling like they would never be able to buy back in or buy in general in the low 40s again. And we're seeing 42.24 as a buy-in price. Now, they had two big pieces of news, and I tried to film this already. I had some technical difficulties, so sorry, no face cam, but if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. This is my fourth video of the day, and I definitely want to bring this to you as quickly as possible. I'm not going to try to edit it very much because I really want to get this to you quickly because I think it's time relevant. So I'm going to do that. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I appreciate it a lot. Also, there is a link down there to WeBull in case you want to get in on that. You can get some free stocks up to $1,850. There's also a link down there to my Patreon in case you want to check that out. Definitely do that. I've been in MP Materials for a while. There's some other stocks that I picked up today that were at pretty good valuations. Also, there is a link down there to BlockFi in case you want interest rate on your cryptocurrency. So anyways, MP Materials is at $42.24, a little bit of a gift here. Now, they announced two different things today that were pretty big. First of all, they announced a secondary public offering of common stock by selling shareholders. So they announced the commencement, subject to market and other conditions, of a proposed registered secondary public offering of 8 million shares of common stock by certain existing shareholders of the company. So right away, a lot of people might be thinking, okay, what's happening here? Are they diluting shares from this, or what are they doing? No. So they are not diluting shares. What they're doing is right here, it's someone that already holds a stock. They're trying to sell it. So this is not going to increase the number of shares on the market. It even says it in here somewhere. The proposed offering will not change the number of shares of common stock that are currently outstanding. They say that there's another 30-day option for an additional 1.2 million shares of common stock from selling shareholders or stockholders. So why are they doing this? Is this insider selling? Is this someone that is really worried about the stock? What's happening? Well, this is something that is often done with IPOs, especially after the IPO is done, to increase liquidity. So a lot of the time, this is what shareholders that have been holding onto the stock will do for a while. What they do is they sell it to other people to increase liquidity. They might sell it to institutions. So if you look at their old presentation, you can see that they had the SPAC investors, they had PIPE investors, they had a sponsor, they had existing MP Material shareholders. So they had a lot of people that had a lot of money in this. And you have to remember, this is a $45 stock, $42 stock. This was a $10 stock at one point. And before that, it was probably valued even less. So there are people that have had their equity increase dramatically. Now, this is not them selling off, 50% of the company or anything like that. This is, if you include the option, it's about $414 million worth if you consider it at a $45 per share price. So right now, I could totally understand someone wanted to do this, especially if you were an existing MP shareholder that had this for maybe 10 years. You've been working there your entire life for 10 years or something like that, and you just want to diversify a little bit. I totally understand that. I don't think that's anything to be worried about. Personally, if I had seen my company share price go up 4x in the last year or in the last 9 months, I would probably sell some of it, especially because I work there too. So most of what I'm getting paid probably as an executive is shares of the company stock. So I have to liquidate it at some point, and maybe after I've been there for a very long time, it might be a smart idea to start selling some shares to actually have some liquid cash. You can't go to the grocery store, go buy a new house with shares of MP Materials. So that is one of the pieces of news that they came out with today, that they were announcing the secondary IPO. In addition to that, they announced proposed green convertible senior notes. So right here, this is something that is really important for you to understand too. They announced that it plans to offer, subject to market and other conditions, $500 million of its green convertible senior notes due in 2026. So this is through a private offering to qualified institutional buyers pursuant to Rule 144A under the Securities Act of 1933. So they expect this to be $500 million, and they also have an additional $75 million principal amount of notes for an option. So they expect this to go towards general corporate purposes or invest the net proceeds in marketable securities or other investments. So they are planning on using this for green projects of MP Materials. Eligible green projects are intended to reduce the company's environmental impact and or enable the production of low carbon technologies. MP Materials aims to achieve a level of allocation for eligible green projects which match the amount of such net proceeds. So basically, they are able to provide this on a private offering to institutional buyers. Now, I actually like this. I like these two. I like these two pieces of news. Now, of course, you can take it all different ways, but basically, I think of it as there are people that really want to buy MP Materials, and they want to buy in bulk. They want to buy hundreds of millions of dollars of MP Materials. Now, who this is, we don't know. It could be Fidelity, it could be Vanguard, it could be ARK Invest. There are people, though, that are wanting to buy significant amounts of this company. So they are investing a large amount. They're willing to take, some secured notes that are convertible years down the line, or years down the line. I think this is actually a good thing for them to be able to increase their institutional ownership, to increase liquidity, to help bring this to more institutions. I think this is actually good for the company. It gives them a lot more money. I mean, they had a significant amount from the SPAC merger, but taking advantage of the fact that they've gone up 4x in the last 9 months, I think this is important. Now, this is different than a direct offer or a public offering like a lot of companies are doing. This is showing that institutions are actually wanting to buy this company. Now, of course, this is causing some people to be worried that they're going to dilute share price or dilute earnings per share. This is causing some people to sell off. This is causing some people to be fearful. But I like this company. This is a company, you have to remember, that is probably only going to grow from here. I mean, just remember what happened last week. They announced fourth quarter and full production and sales. They had Q4 revenue that was up 100% year over year. They had adjusted EBITDA up 300% year over year. They had margin that was improved to 42.6%. This is a company that is growing quite quickly and will never be any less important, I think, than it is right now. And it's pretty important right now. Like they are so important for the U.S. to move forward that the government, I don't think, can really let them fail. And I've been saying that for a long time. But I think that this is actually going to be great. They have $519 million of cash to execute long-term strategy. They have another $500 million now, or they will have another $500 million most likely. So they'll have about $1 billion of cash. Now, of course, I could be wrong. I'm not a stock analyst. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research on this. If you guys want to check out the links down below to WeBull and to Patreon. WeBull, you can get some free stock. Patreon, you can join the community of investors, over 4,000 people in there. I also tell them what I'm buying and selling. I bought another stock today. I bought a decent amount, and I've been adding to it over the last month or so. So definitely check that out. If you're interested, there's also a link down there to BlockFi to get some interest rates on your cryptocurrencies. And they're giving a bonus too of up to $250 depending on what you deposit. Thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Tell me your thoughts on this down below.